Hi all, this is my first Cisco Ccna lab video. We're going to use in Packet Tracer, and the first lab is basic configuration and Telnet. Let's go to Packet Tracer software. Here we have the topology. We have 3 devices, a router and 2 switches. We're going to configure a host name in each device. We're going to configure password, enable secret password. We're going to configure router interfaces in 2 different subnets. We're going to configure switch VLAN interfaces. We're going to configure an IP default gateway, so each switch can ping each other. And finally, we're going to configure Telnet. So let's start with router 1. Enable conf t. First, we're going to configure hostname router 1. And we're going to configure enable secret or enable password. What's the difference? We're going to configure here enable password. Enable password. Enable password Cisco. Show run. This enable password is a clear text password. It's not encrypted. So look, if you can see here, it says Cisco. It's the password that we have configured. So I think it's better that we can use enable secret. So we're gonna configure enable secret Cisco. And now we can make show run, and here is the password. Now it's encrypted. So I think it's better to use enable secret than enable password. Well, we have configured a hostname and a password. Now we're gonna configure the interfaces. Giga00, the IP address. We're gonna have here are the IP address 192.168.0.254. Subnet mask is 24 bits, so it's 255.255.255.255.0. I'm sorry, it's IP address. IP address, we're going to configure interface gigabit 00, the IP address, and we have to make a no shutdown command. No shutdown. Okay, and as we see, the interface comes up. Now we're going to configure gigabit 01 interface gigabit 01. IP address is 192.168.1.254, and the mask is 255.255.255.0. That's a 24-bit mask. I'm sorry, it's a 24-bit mask. And we're going to apply a no shutdown command. No shutdown. Okay. Okay, we already configured the interfaces of router 1. Now let's configure VLAN interfaces on switches. Well, first we're going to apply a hostname. Enable conf t hostname. This is switch 1. Enable secret Cisco. Okay, now we're going to configure VLAN 1, interface VLAN 1. Interface VLAN 1, the IP address is 192.168.0.1 for 24-bit mask 255.255.255.0, and we're going to apply a no shutdown command. Okay, that's right. We're gonna ping the router interface, ping 192.168.0.254, and it has to respond. Well, now we're gonna configure the default gateway. The IP default gateway, it has to be the router interface. the direct connected router interface that it's gigabit 0000. Why it's necessary to configure a router interface? It's because now here we have two different subnets in each switch. The first switch is in subnet 0, the second switch is in subnet 1. And if we don't have configured the IP default gateway in the switch, this switch will not be able to ping switch 2. We have to configure the IP default gateway. It has to be the IP address of gigabit 00, because when you configure the default gateway as the interface of the router 1, when the switch pings to other subnets, it will first go to that interface, and that interface will switch to the other subnet to finally ping another subnet. That's the reason it's very important, the default gateway, when you have two different or three different subnets and when you need to go over the internet. So let's go here, conf t IP default gateway. It will be the IP address of the gigabit 00 interface of the router. 0254. Okay, that's right. We want to apply a show running config. Where here we have the host name. Here we have the enable secret password. Here we have the IP address of the VLAN 1. And here we have the IP address of the default gateway. Now we're going to configure switch 2. Okay. First, we're going to start with enable. Conf t host name switch 2. Enable secret. Cisco. Now let's start configuring the VLAN interfaces. VLAN interface 1. Interface VLAN, sorry, it's interface VLAN 1. IP address 192.168.1.1. 24-bit mask 255.255.0 and no shutdown. This VLAN 1 is the default VLAN. It's a VLAN that comes configured default, and we have to put this IP address so we can manage remotely those devices and we can ping to the devices. So it's very important to put the IP address to the VLAN, to the management VLAN. In this case, interface VLAN 1 will be the management VLAN. So we already put the IP address. Now we're gonna put the IP default gateway, conf t IP, where the default gateway, the IP address will be the gigabit 01 interface of the router 1. So in this case, it will be 192.168.1 and 254. Okay, and so we're gonna ping. Let's ping the router. Ping 192. Ping 192.168.1.254. Yeah, we success with the ping. Now we're gonna ping the other switch that is in the other subnet. Ping 192.168.0.1. Yes, we ping. What happened if we remove the IP default gateway? I will remove no IP default gateway. And I will try to ping to switch 1. I will ping switch 1 here. Ping switch 1. Look here that we success with the ping, but now we're not succeeding. That's because we misconfigure the IP default gateway. We cannot reach another subnet. So now we're gonna configure IP default gateway 192.168.1.254. Again, ping 168.0.1. Okay, now we have success rate in the. We're gonna ping the switch one. Okay, so let's start configuring Telnet. It's very easy. The only thing that we have to do is to configure the lines. Line V2Y, 0 to 4. You can choose like 0 through 15, but I will prefer 0 through 4. Password Ccna and login. If you don't put this login command and you don't put enable secret password, you won't be able to make a Telnet session. So it's very important that you remember login command and enable secret password. Now let's start configuring router 1. I'm gonna configure router 1. So let's conft line v2y 0 through 4, password ccna, login. And now let's configure switch 1. Switch 1 conft line v2y 0 through 4, password ccna, login. Look, this password is for Telnet session, and this is for enable. It's two different passwords. Okay, now let's gonna try to Telnet router 1. Telnet router 1. We can use these two IP address for Telnet. I will prefer using this one. 192.168.0.254. Now password. Password is Telnet password CCNA. Router 1 enable, and now comes enable password or enable secret Cisco. Okay, that's right. We have configured it. We already configured switch 1. Now let's configure. Now let's try with router 1 Telnet switch 2. Conft. Oh, sorry. Telnet 192.168.1.1. Password CCNA. Password CCNA. Enable. Password Cisco. Okay. We try telnetting router 1 switch 2. Now we're going to try telnetting switch 2 router 1. Telnet 192.168.1.254. Password CCNA. Enable. Now password is Cisco. Now we're in router 1. Well, folks, that's all for today. Hope this video could help you. In the description of the video, I will leave you two packet tracer files, so you can download the lab and you can configure by yourself. Thank you for all.